Hey everybody, welcome back to Fallout Equestria. Slightly shorter one tonight because I gotta go to work tomorrow. This is the third of the 4 videos I said I would do. I said I was going to do Log Horizon after the second Fallout video, but I decided to do 3 of the Fallout ones straight up. And I'll be doing the Log Horizon tomorrow. So I kind of switched up. It'll be 3 Fallout Equestria. This is the third one. Then 2 Log Horizon. Then the final Fallout Equestria one. So, yeah.
There is more, Steele has warned. The pink cloud has seeped into everything it touched, and the decay has transformed once benign objects into lethal traps. The most noteworthy of these are the broadcasters and the sprite bots.
Oh, that's fucked.
Broadcasters? I asked. You mean like the pit-buck peripherals like the one Blackwing gave me?
The magically armored ghoul nodded. They were all the rage amongst Canterlot's elite just before the end. Pit-bucks had become the latest fashion accessory, and the broadcasters were rare enough that having one was prestigious.
Steelos gave a dry, humorless laugh.
Now the pink cloud has both weakened and decayed their signals. I cannot explain how, but the static that they now emit has a necromantic component. If you find yourself within the range of their effect, you must either destroy them or flee immediately. You do not wish to know how you will die if you do not.
You've got to be kidding me, I gasped. The
Fuck!
dangers of the Canterlot ruins had galloped past deadly and into outright insane. How was I going to get every pony through this alive?
You're not!
I wish I was,
Steelhooves grumbled.
If you're going there, then I should accompany you. You'll need more than advice. You'll need a guide. Some pony who knows the streets and can get you where you need to be swiftly.
I breathed a heavy sigh of relief.
Wait, no, he's
That
got a
means
job to do here.
A lot. Thank you. We really need you this time. And we miss you too, Velvet Remedy purred.
Steelo
Stomped and nickered. And maybe we can help you in return, I offered. You don't need to commit any of your outcasts to delivering Elder Cottage cheese to... where was it?
What I was thinking.
Buckland Cross, Calamity answered with a grin. Lil Pip's right. We got me and we got the Sky Bandit. We can make the trip ourselves in half a day. Crossroads, who'd remained mostly silent during our reunion, spoke up. A splendid idea, but as much as we appreciate your offer, we cannot have you do it alone. There will need to be representatives of Applejack's Rangers present for the exchange.
Steelhooves just...
Steelhooves seemed to
like, if this was a tabletop game and Steelhooves was one of the players, out of the game, at the table, going, yeah, strap me to the top of that shit. Let me be the living turret. You know that. I know how fucking people act and shit. The player would be so down for that. It'll be great.
Consider this. No.
I'm imagining it in my head. It's
so long
awesome.
as that representative is appropriately high-ranking.
Was it just my imagination? Or did he sound ever so slightly happy?
I shall go.
Steelhooves was with us again.
Yeah.
The little pony in my head gave a small squee. We were together once more. The door to the security station slid open, and I stepped out into the hall. Steelhooves close to my side. Alarms went off everywhere. Wait, what? I stumbled, looking around.
We're under attack.
Yeah.
Steelhooves spun on his hooves and pushed back into the security station.
Star Paladin Crossroads, report.
I don't know, sir, Crossroads said, zipping between monitors and panels of flashing lights. Perimeter secure. No hostile contact at the entrance.
It's the fucking
The outcast Star
chair.
Paladin paused. Oh, damn. The attack came from inside. I'm reading explosions in the maintenance wing.
Ugh. Cottage cheese.
Steelhooves growled. He threw himself to the intercom switchboard.
Ponies, report. What's going on down there?
No answer.
Cross, bring up the tags of every pony in Stable 29, and tell me we have the tag for Cottage's damn chair.
My friends and I had re-entered the security station, and stood watching as a glow...
You fucking called it. You fucking called it. medical battle mech.
The map of the stable began to light up with tag markers. I knew this procedure, although I'd never witnessed it before. All pit bucks had a tag that allowed their wares to be located. This was how the Overmare had intended to find Velvet Remedy, and why Velvet had tricked me into removing her pit buck. Steel Ranger armor was built with nearly the same technology. It made sense that they would have similar tracking devices. But what about every pony not wearing their armor, like Crossroads? The stable map was flooded with tags now, but 2 stood out, because 2 were in the section of the stable that, according to the map, didn't exist. The empty space where the Overmare's office was supposed to be. One of those 2 tags flashed red. "That's the Elder's chair," Cross stated. "Where?" I knew. The Crusader mainframe. I didn't know how he managed to get inside a room that not even Shadowhorn had access to.
How did he even get there that fast? Like, I don't know the map layout. Like, I can't, like, picture the whole thing. Is it close to there? Well, I hope if he gets his immortality, it doesn't work like he plans. Because, like, they've taken out most of the automated systems from the vault, right? They severed those from the computer mainframe because it was murderous. Like, it was murderous. So when they took over the vault, they had to sever that. If Lil Pip didn't sever already, I forget. You would be... Yeah, you live forever, motherfucker, but it's cold. It's dark. You're alone. And there's no one you can talk to. Like, it'll be... I think, like, for the first minute, he'd be like, I live forever. Then the second minute comes, and he's like, wait. Like, it's the am problem. From I have no mouth on my scream. You're paraplegic now. You can't move. You can't do anything. You can't see. You lost all sense. You can't feel. You can't see. You can't move. You might... Maybe you could speak if they didn't sever the voice intercoms. But they can sever those later. Like, this isn't going to work out like how you thought it would, man. It's not.
But then, I knew I shouldn't be surprised. Elder Cottage Cheese had clearly been in tight communication with Elder Blueberry Saber. And that Elder Citadel had been in the headquarters of Stabletech itself. They had full schematics of all the stables.
Less monologuing, more going to kill
things
him.
about each stable the residents themselves did not. What the hell is he trying to do? Calamity neighed. He don't have the book all y'all been fussing about, does he? Uploading himself into that machine ain't gonna save him.
No,
Steels replied.
Cottage keeps sending rangers into the Canterlot ruins after that thing, but none of them have ever returned. However, I'm not sure he cares at this point.
So he's just wasting manpower. How's this guy fucking in charge?
Even if it won't be...
And they would have power armor. That's not being do they have the means of producing their own power armor? Because it's heavily implied in normal Fallout that the frames for the power armor are not made anymore. Like, everything the Brotherhood has is what they got. They ain't making anymore. So, like... Are you just... Power armor is fucking valuable. Are you just wasting it? Are you just tossing it? Like, the only person I could believe would have the means of producing power armor frames would be Red Eye, because he has the actual industrial capability of doing something like that. And while they have occupied technological industrial areas, none of them have ever seemed to be in very good shape. And they're more concerned about hoarding and taking knowledge than actually building industry. Like the normal Brotherhood, they don't actually build up industry. So, do they have the means of making new power armor frames? I don't think so. Like, this is a horrible misallocation of valuable, non-reproducible resources. Okay.
Be him,
I said my piece.
Crossroads suggested. He may still view it as some sort of living legacy. The intercom burst with static.
Sure.
Elder Steelhoofs, a pony's voice breathed. Elder Cottage has escaped.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Steele retorted.
How?
His chair. Lockbox held matrix disruption grenades. Steele stomped.
Didn't any pony check the chair for weapons before giving it to the damned enemy?
Sir, it was an Elder's private lockbox, came the reply. And it was locked. Crossroads whinnied. You can't expect them to just abandon the respect that had been ingrained in them for decades. I would have had a hard time breaking into the Elder's private possessions.
That's why you don't break into it, you take it away. And put it in like private storage or something. You gotta remember that as much as the Steel Rangers have preserved knowledge, they've only really cared about technological knowledge rather than doctrines of fighting, moral philosophy in general, critical thinking, common sense. You know, that's not things that the Brotherhood of Steel was ever fond of, and it's not what the traditional thing cares about. Actually, I'd argue the Brotherhood of Steel is worse, because when you bring them a method of improving hydroponics to a amazing degree, like a amazing degree that you can improve hydroponics, they don't care. They don't even want it. Like, at least these guys have a slightly broader view of technology and arcane knowledge. Like, they're at least better than the Brotherhood in that regard. Actually, they're better in that regard, but they're worse than others. Because I don't recall the Brotherhood of Steel killing Vault Dwellers. That was an Enclave thing. I mean, the Brotherhood would want the Vault. They'd probably take the Vault, but I don't think they would kill everyone in it. They'd probably just kick them out into the Wasteland, or maybe conscript them. Nah. I said click.
This world needs more little pips.
Steele groused. Velvet Remedy piped up, looking up at the map. Who's in there with him? Star Paladin Crossroads turned to a terminal and scanned it. Looking back to us, the brown-coated mare replied. It's Night Strawberry Lemonade.
Oh.
Steele reared. Crossroads continued to scan the terminal. Her armor-spelled matrix has crashed. She's paralyzed.
The Elder has a hostage.
I crouched against the wall between the security station and the two VIP rooms, once belonging to Shadowhorn and Vinyl Scratch respectively, I recalled. A security panel lay next to my hooves. I had my pit-buck plugged into the junction terminal hidden beneath it. On my pit-buck, I could see into the room from a camera whose visuals were only available to some pony connected into this junction. Not even the security station had access to it. I saw the Crusader.
The ultimate insult to this kind of guy isn't killing him. It would be disarming him, tossing him out of his chair, and then just tell him no one lives forever, and leave that fucking pathetic wretch of a living creature on the floor, trying desperately to get at something, have it so close to him, but keep it out of his reach. Yes, that's a little cruel, I know. But, as you can tell by how I act, and who I admit some of my personal heroes are, sometimes cruelty is the correct answer. And it makes you feel better.
Mainframe.
Like, be good to your friends, but terrible to your enemies. That's the philosophy I enjoy.
A giant pillar with arms that reached out to smaller mainframes along the walls like spokes from a wheel. I could see Night Strawberry Lemonade lying immobilized in her dead armor. Her helmet was off, revealing a very cute youthful mare. Her coat was pink.
Oh, she's
her
fucking
mane
dead!
Yellow. Her palette struck me as a...
Like, waifu option number 3! Like, Lil Pimp went for the homage route, but, like, the player could have went for her, I bet. Like, fuck, she's gonna die. Shit! Lil Pimp, you gotta enter VATS. And as soon as... You gotta pull off that bullshit from, that you could do in Fallout 3 in a Megaton, where... What was it, Mr. Burke? He pulls out the gun and he's going to shoot the sheriff, but if you're fast enough, you can shoot the gun out of his hand, and he gets arrested. Like, you gotta do that, Lil Pip. You cannot let... There are too few good waifus left in the world. You gotta... Fuck!
A reversal of
No!
Fluttershy's, although her mane was cropped very short. Better for one who constantly wears a metal helmet. She was glowering at the ancient, wrinkled pony with a sickly oatmeal coat, sitting in a high-tech wheelchair. According to Steelhose, the chair had been reclaimed by the Elder from a crumbling Ministry of Peace hospital, along with several egg-shaped life support chambers and a variety of other advanced medical gear. Tubes continuously fed the decrepit body of the Elder, a body kept alive only by extremes of medical science and a tenacious force of will. The Elder was fussing with a helmet covered in gems and lights, attached to what I could safely assume was the Crusader mainframe's brain transfer mapping unit. The unit was meant to be worn on the head of a pony resting in a gel tank beneath it. Cottage was being delayed by the inability to physically remove himself from the chair to the tank, so he was unfastening the helmet. As I watched, he floated it free. The helmet levitated.
Okay, you're not in the room, right? You're watching a security camera, right? Because as much as I want to disrespect and just spit on and like I am cruel to people I don't like. Okay, no, not people I don't like. I'm still polite and generous stuff. People I generally have a feeling that I hate, and it doesn't help that this guy has given him a Nixon voice. I don't even know cottage cheese that well, but the Nixon voice plus the rampant fear of death and taking a potential waifu option hostage has put him on the shit list. I know I'm making myself sound like a fucking psycho, but I don't care. Like, because if you're in that room, just fucking shoot him right now. Just get Calamity to shoot his ass. But I don't think they're in the room.
Through the air towards his head,
Fuck is
then
wrong
stopped
with you?
as it reached the length of the several vital cables that still bound it to the rest of the machine. The Elder started jockeying his chair, trying to move close enough for his head to reach the helmet. It occurred to me suddenly that Elder Cottage Cheese was the first. No, second unicorn I had seen amongst the Steel Rangers. Their helmets weren't exactly designed for horns. I wondered if he had cut his own horn off to wear their armor. It would certainly have been a sign of dedication to the Steel Rangers.
Also a horrible loss of potential. Like, if Lil Pip's as a RPGer, video game, fantasy lover, magic wins. Like, if I'm in a fantasy world and I'm offered the option of being the heavily armored knight or the fucking wizard, I'm taking the wizard. I mean, that's not true of my tabletop games because I generally like playing knights, but we're talking real stuff. I'm taking the fucking wizard. So, like, yeah. Magic is cool.
But if so, then the horn had regrown, and I hadn't thought that could happen.
Is that possible?
If so, it was a bright spot of news for Silverbell's future. Or, I realized he may have just moved up through the ranks of non-armored Steel Rangers. They did, after all, have unicorns like the one whose body I had found at Old Olney. Scribes, I think they were called. Researchers.
Again, that's also a really big loss of battlefield applications for our artillery spells, shielding spells, stuff like that. I've always liked the idea that the horns do regrow, at least on some level. Or maybe they're like wands from Harry Potter and they just make casting magic easier, but they're not necessary. Like, I always like both those applications. It's probably like power armor. Yo, again, it's not the armor itself that's hard to make, it's the frame of the power armor that's hard. You can probably just fashion the new helmet with like a horn on it. Shouldn't be too hard. Well, that's all the time I have for tonight. I got work tomorrow. Oh, please just either fucking kill this guy or embarrass him. Just don't kill... I hate it when cute ponies die.